Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Let me adjust this camera. Shout out Jadarius. Hey, check it out. What sex transmutation has done for Rom. And I'm gonna tell you what. I've talked about that before, but I'm just sharing my experience with it. Because I'm seeing a lot of people. I always get some comment or something. You get some guys acting like they got a real issue with sex. Now, I got my opinion on that, but I don't feel like riling anybody up because then somebody will want to get in my face and then I had to hurt them. But thing is, I'm just saying it for myself. Now, sex transmutation, that was talked about in Napoleon Hill's well-known book, Think and Grow Rich. That was chapter 10, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. And in a nutshell, at least in the current versions, it's basically turning thoughts of sex to thoughts of producing stuff, to doing something, making money, working on a project. But that's part of it. A lot of people might go with that, and a lot of people might interpret that instead of having sex with women, taking that energy and doing something. But actually you're doing both, because one of the things I talked to an older brother who's a dynamo in himself. I ain't gonna call his name, but let's just say he's well known in science fiction circles, and he had said he saw an original version of Think and Grow Rich, and in the original version it was said like these famous men wouldn't, good Lord, yeah, I wonder why I come to the gym. It was said that before like some of these powerful men would make a major decision, they'd have sex first. And that's another version. Sex transmutation, though, I'll say in a nutshell, Rom's general definition, regardless of what other people might say, is just generally just using that as energy for whatever you want to accomplish. I mean, you can use it as energy to become a great martial artist, or to build up your chi, or you can use it to stimulate your genius, which was talked about in Think and Grow Rich. Shit, I can actually have a graph in my life about my ups and downs, and I can trace it to the quality of sex I was having at that time. In fact, a lot of stuff now. I have 9 books on the market now, 9 books, but I've actually published in my lifetime 12, plus I've published a couple other authors. And one of the secrets to that was the sex transmutation, taking that energy. Especially it got to be good sex. Now, see, how would it work? It's really simple how it works. Really simple how it works. You're aroused. What happens when you're aroused? If a man's aroused, he generates testosterone. That's the energy that makes a man a man. That's what makes his voice deep, makes his muscles bigger. That's the power source right there. One of the biggest problems with many males in this society, notice I said males, is low testosterone. That's one of the many problems. I mean, like, low. That's why like some men who maybe have some money might engage in testosterone replacement or use supplements or something like that. That's why I advertise supplements on this channel. Check out X Labs stores. Got a couple videos, and that's one of my sponsors. But that's very important. That's that energy of it. Now, see, some people think they might be engaging in it by just avoiding women, period. It's like, no. See, one thing with the way that human beings are built, our hormones and glands, even our organs, respond to each other. That's how the race is still here. Otherwise, we probably leave each other alone. Like, you can be energized. If you are in tune with your body, you can be energized just being around a woman. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, like in some cultures, they have something like the geishas or the sacred prostitutes. Their purpose was to energize people. That's why in some cultures, I dare say call them civilized cultures, they practice polygamy. It wasn't just so a guy can just get his rocks off or anything like that. Usually it's a business thing. That's why powerful kings, priests would have multiple women to keep them aroused. In fact, that's a secret with women. If they, you know, you got these women out here who want to get the bag, shoot, work on your sex appeal. Seriously. And keep them energized. In fact, if a woman can keep a man's in it, keep him energized, or as some of the metaphysic people would say, keep his root chakra open, she don't have to worry about anything. But, you know, I ain't tired of this, what this done for me. You know what, it's giving me freedom. Because, you know, I had a couple of detractors. They seem to try to make it like an issue that I'm even telling men how to get women. Yeah, damn right. I'm free. A lot of people have to watch my videos on the way to some job they don't like. But what I do with the energy, I told you, I've written, 12 books. Might put a couple of them back out on the market. Working on some projects now that's going to drop. I ain't even know. Used it to, you know, really carve out the type of life I want to live life under my control. And the beauty of it is, it's just a matter of allowing myself to be aroused. See, a lot of guys have issues with women, thus can't be aroused by them. See, I allow myself to be aroused. I don't even have to have sex with a woman. Just let her arouse me. In fact, when I travel alone, sometimes it's, I say on a typical day, probably interacting with maybe 4 women in a sense where they touching me or, you know, hugging me, something like that. That's not even sex, but I'm allowing myself to be aroused. And then what I do, I come back and do this, do some videos, think of some stuff, because many people have marveled at how much work I can put out. Sex transmutation. I just take that same energy and convert it. Now, and some people, you know, they practice no fapping or what they mistakenly call semen retention. Let me just say something about that, because people think just because they're not fapping, that's semen retention. No, semen retention is you can go into a woman raw, and still not come unless you feel like coming. In fact, because one of the things I don't talk about as much publicly is I do practice tantra. You know, not all the time, it depends on the woman, but I do practice different forms of tantra. And one of the things about tantra is building up that energy. In fact, a true tantra master, which someone doesn't reach until maybe their 50s, a true tantra master only gives a woman, it's an honor for him to give a woman his seed, because he ain't gonna bust it. So, you know, I'm on that, but it's that just converting that sexual energy and allowing it to be generated. And then just being open to it. That's why, shoot, I know one tantra master, he sleeps in a bed with 4 women. And probably he's actually sleeping, but he's using that energy. He's using that energy to carve out the life he wants. That's why millionaires, or, you know, guys with real men with means will have a sugar baby. It ain't just a spoiler. That's just a compensation business thing. The main thing is he fucking. That's the main thing. And then he's energized. In fact, when I first heard about men going overseas, it wasn't about just some sex tourism thing. These would be professional dudes, and dudes who could easily get women here, but they were going for very sensual, very attractive women for the simple reason these women would energize them, and then they come back and just do their work. You know? And there's probably still dudes who just doing it. They know what it is. They don't have any illusions about trying to, like, get a woman from another country. They just want an attractive woman. You know, that's why it's important for some guys, if you're going to deal with a woman, it's actually very important to deal with a woman who can arouse you. Not some woman who just going to be available and, you know, let you do your business for 5 minutes, but to really be with a woman who arouses you. And then if she can arouse you, and then you have like that notepad next to your thing, or a recorder, even a camera, make a video afterwards. I actually did make a podcast one time, but it was for my private group after having sex with a woman. You know? Because, like I said, that thing has done a lot for me. I remember one woman I keep strictly like almost a ritual and stuff once a year. Boom. She energizes me. She energizes me for a while. And you know, I share that because, you know, and shout out Cousin T-Tar, he talks about, he goes more into some of this stuff, like having a roster and having women for different things. You know, that's that energy, that's that interaction where you take it and then you convert it to something else. Because, I mean, and you could probably tell, I mean, how many guys out there have had, like, that really good, that really, I mean, that was the joint, but then you felt like, and it's more than just the actual act of sex, but it's how the woman interacts with you. Because there's a deeper level to that. And I couldn't do that on a car video because there's some terms that I never bothered to memorize, but it's like 7 hormones if a woman is just validating that are positive. If she's validating you in a positive way. Like, it's funny, I see guys say, hey, don't worry about a woman's validation and all that. Yeah, that might be good for defensive reasons and to protect your ego, but if you learn how to use it, you get that energy. Shit, you can become a millionaire possibly. In fact, I would even say that energy is so powerful from, if an attractive, now, not just any woman, it has to be a sexually attractive and receptive woman. Shit, she could take a homeless dude and make him at least economically viable in a year. That's the power of it. And, you know, a lot of people might think what I'm saying is some bullshit, right? Because, one, they haven't experienced it. But I guarantee any dudes on here who's listening who practices any esoteric arts or they in some secret societies, they nodding their heads. You know, because they know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, it's my personal belief. That's why many religions will demonize sex for the masses. Because they want to keep that power to themselves. They have that knowledge. They know if the average man can tap into it, really tap into it, shit. And you get a core group of men, like on my public podcast today, I talked about a brotherhood. If you get a brotherhood of men who are sexually empowered in that way, who really practice sex transmutation, there's nothing they can't accomplish. And I do literally mean nothing that they can't accomplish. Shit. Yeah, I was about to say something, but I say no, that might get the channel snatched. The sinister might be like, oh shit, he said that. We can't let that one go. So I'll let that one pass. But anyway, yeah. But it's a powerful thing. That's why I can, you know, I can do this any time of the morning, whatever. I'm unapologetic about it. You know, too many dudes don't know what they don't know and are arrogant in their belief of it. So anyway, y'all, that's it. I'm gonna go do what I do. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.